Hi there, I'm Deepshika, and in today's video I will talk about spellings. Yes, today I'm going to teach you methods that will help you to learn the spellings in a very easy way. And by this you will also remember them all your life. In this formula, you can learn the spellings just by looking at the vowels and the consonants that are present at the end of every word. So let's begin this journey today.
Rules for spelling. To form the plural words for nouns, we need to add an S. For example, bird becomes birds, cat becomes cats, hotel becomes hotels. When we need to use the verb with he, she, or it as a subject, we need to add an S with it. For example, think becomes thinks, live becomes lives, eat becomes eats. This means that if we want to use live with he, we need to write it as, or we need to speak it as, he lives in China. Also, we need to add es to the words that end in s, sh, ch, x, or o. Let's look at some examples. For example, in bus, to write the plural form, we need to add es and we write it as buses. Pass becomes passes. Similarly, for the words that end with sh, we need to add es again. So dish becomes dishes, wash becomes washes. We also need to add es for the words that end with ch. For example, watch becomes watches, teach becomes teaches. For words that end in x, we need to add es again. Box becomes boxes. Also, we need to add es for those words that end in o. For example, potato becomes potatoes, tomato becomes tomatoes. Let's look at the words that end in y. For example, study. We need to add ies here. So study becomes studies and not studys. So city becomes cities, cities, and not citys. Baby becomes babies, babies. We need to add ied when we need to write the past form of study. For example, study becomes studied in the past tense form. Try becomes tried. Marry becomes married. Similarly, when we write a superlative degree or a comparative degree word, we need to add either IER or IEST. For example, easy becomes easier or easiest. Happy becomes happier and happiest. So remember, we need to add IER for the comparative degree and IEST for the superlative degree. Also, you should add ILY for example, easy becomes easily. Happy becomes happily. Now, you need to understand that there are exceptions to it. And the exception is that Y doesn't change to I if it ends in either AY, EY, OY, or UY. For example, holiday would be written as holidays and we would only add an S to it. Buy becomes buys, key becomes keys. So we just need to add an S to all these words. Now let's look at the verbs that end in E. For example, make, write, drive, etc. Here, remember that we need to omit the E that is at the end and we need to add ing with it. Make becomes making, write becomes writing, and drive becomes driving. Also, you need to note that verbs that end in IE, for example, lie, L-I-E, we need to omit IE at the end and you should add YING. So here, lie becomes LYING, die, DIE, becomes DYING. So remember, you need to omit IE at the end and you need to add YING. Now let's look at the vowel letters. They are A, E, I, O, U. And the consonant letters are B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now let's come to the formula based on vowels and consonants. For the words that end in a vowel plus a consonant, for example, stop, big, get. So in all these words, we have a vowel and a consonant at the end. Here, when we need to add ing or ed or er or est at the end, we need to double the consonant here. This means stop becomes stopped or stopping. So when we add ed towards the end of the word or ing towards the end of the word, we need to add two consonants here. So this means the consonant gets doubled. So the consonant basically which is at the end gets doubled. For example, in stop, the consonant at the end is P. So the P gets doubled here. Similarly, when you look at run, the consonant at the end is N. So N gets doubled and it becomes RUNNING. Similarly, for get, GET becomes GETTING. Let's look at another example. Big is equal to bigger, BIGGER, and biggest, BIGGEST. Hot becomes hotter and hottest. So in all these cases, the consonant which is at the end of the word gets doubled. So do remember this. Also, if the word that ends in two consonant letters, for example, help, work, fast, so we need to understand that here the previous rule that I have said is not applicable. Therefore, help becomes helping or helped. So you need to note that when there are two consonant letters at the end, the previous rule is not going to be applicable, and here you will simply need to write ing at the end or ed at the end. So work becomes worked and working. So you don't need to double the consonant here. Also, if the word ends in Y or W at the end of the words, Y and W are not considered as consonants. So you need to simply write enjoy, as enjoyed, enjoyed. This means you simply need to add ed or ing with the word that ends in either y or w. So snow becomes snowed, snowing. Few becomes fewer or fewest. I hope with this the rules for spellings are very clear to all of you. And if you have any query, you may write to us on ieltsenenglisharena@gmail.com. Also, if you liked the video, do subscribe to our channel. Thank you.